So the resource cards include water and carbon dioxide. Water is the blue one, kind of purple, and carbon dioxide is the orange one. In this game we have two different kinds of plant populations. We have water-intensive plants. Okay, so some of you are going to be assigned to wear these fabulous necklaces. Water-intensive plants, it's just like the name sounds. They need a lot of water. They're water-intensive. We also have drought-tolerant plants. Some of the desert plants here in the Chihuahuan Desert are drought-tolerant plants.
You will need to make a graph to display the results of each game round. Start with the y-axis using increments of 5 ranging from 0 to 75. The x-axis will indicate game rounds recommended up to 10. These can be increased depending on the length of play. You will also need to make a legend which will identify the colors representing carbon dioxide, water, drought-tolerant, and water-intensive plants that are present at the end of each round. You will graph each item at the end of every round. At the end of the game, you will draw a line connecting the results of each round. This line indicates the change that has occurred.
We are now ready to start round 1. In this segment, we're explaining to the students how to play the first round. At the end of each round, all plants must transpire 1 water point back to the environment. To survive, drought-tolerant plants must have 2 remaining water cards and 2 carbon dioxide cards at the end of the round after transpiration. Water-intensive plants must have 4 water cards and 2 carbon dioxides for survival after transpiration. Educators should emphasize to students that in real life, plants will obviously not be moving around for their resources, but students are acting as their plants' roots and leaves, seeking out the resources they need. Once students understand the resources they need to survive the round, the educator will say, "Ready, set, grow," and release students to gather resources scattered throughout the classroom.
Have students transpire 1 water card back into the environment. Determine which plants have gathered enough resource cards to survive this round. All students will return their resources back into the environment. Students who did not survive will proceed to the back of the sprout line. Surviving plants will be provided a matching name tag to give life to the next sprout in line, increasing their plant population. Students are ready to start the next round.
So each plant in the first round got to reproduce. So each of those 3 plants produced an offspring. And so now we have 6 drought-tolerant plants and 6 water-intensive plants. We are now ready to begin round 2 and subsequent rounds. Explain to students that at the end of each round, drought-tolerant plants will need to have 2 water points and 2 carbon dioxides after transpiration. Water-intensive plants will need to have 4 water points and 2 carbon dioxides after transpiration at the end of each round. These requirements remain the same from round 1. However, the transpiration cost increases by 1 water point every round because climate change conditions are in effect. With climate change, conditions are getting warmer and drier. Therefore, before every round, the educator will remove 5 water points from the environment. At the same time, humans continue to release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and so the educator will add 5 carbon dioxide cards to the environment every round. Between rounds, the educator will graph each plant population and the amount of water and carbon dioxide in the environment before moving on to the next round.
Educators can end the game after any chosen round or wait until one of the plant populations dies out, depending on the time available. If there is additional time, the educator can choose to begin a new game. At some point, students should complete the game graph on their worksheet.